Yeah. Very, very, very sad indeed. So yeah, if you want to put your tributes in the chat, I'll happily read them out. No problem at all. Even Liverpool fans, any Liverpool fans watching, no problem. You're more than welcome on this particular day. But yeah, we shall move on to some other subjects for the time being. We've got a few things to get through. I'm going to be commenting on Ollie Watkins, rumours, Sancho to Juventus, Anthony to Betis, the situations with Rashford and Garnacho, and also we're going to close out the stream with my ideal summer signings and why. But yeah, remember, throughout this particular stream, if you've got anything to say, if something is on your mind, please put it in the chat. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, okay, so with the Gyökeres situation not really materialising as it stands, and with Mbeumo stalling a little bit, although I did say at the beginning of the week, we will have him signed by Friday. We've still got 24 hours. Still, it's not over the line yet. So because of that, apparently Man United have been shifting their focus to Ollie Watkins. And I mean, I wouldn't read too much into this. I think Manchester United are just using the Ollie Watkins situation just as a means to show Brentford and Sporting Lisbon that, well, you know, if you're not going to negotiate fairly with Mbeumo and Gyökeres, we can easily move on to someone else. It's like when you're having a little bit of a tiff with your girlfriend and you start talking to another lass at the bar. She's quickly going to be like, oh, you know, I better be nice and start talking to him properly and resolve these arguments, or some other chick might get him. And the lasses can do that as well. You know, it works both ways. It's just a case of just playing a little bit of a game. And from my sort of observations with Ineos at the moment, they've been class in the transfer market since they've been in charge of that. They have been getting things done in a timely manner, generally speaking, and they haven't been messing around if clubs aren't sort of playing ball in the transfer market. It was the same with Branthwaite last year. Everton wanted stupid money for what is an average defender. So Man United were like, nah. And then we got De Ligt, which was great, who's a much better player. And we got him for cheap as well. So, yeah, I think personally this Ollie Watkins is just a little bit of fugazi, just a little way to sort of speed up Sporting Lisbon and Brentford in negotiating with Man United. That being said, if there is some truth in Ollie Watkins coming to Man United, no, come on, behave. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not exactly a Man United player. And for 60 million, if we're going to have a number 9 playing up front for Man United, if we're going to pay the money for a number 9, it isn't Ollie Watkins, and it ain't 60 million for him. If they were flogging him for 20, then fair enough, it'd be worth the punt. But for 60 million, considering that Mbeumo is only 65, nah, I'm not having that. No, and especially you can get Jamie Vardy for Nout. He's not going for a free at the moment. Get him in. In fact, I'd be snapping Jamie Vardy up, because Jamie Vardy can teach Rasmus Højlund how to put the ball in the back of the net and how to move about and how to use his tactical nous and all of that. Because that's what Rasmus Højlund needs. In fact, it would be a much wiser investment in spending the money on Gyökeres and getting Jamie Vardy in as a coach. Well, not even necessarily as a coach, but as a wiser head, just to play in League Cup games and the odd Premier League game, just to sort of bring on Rasmus Højlund. I think that would be a really astute signing. But Ollie Watkins, yeah, Ollie Watkins would be a good signing if he was going for 20, 25 million. But for 60 million, that's what Aston Villa have. That's the price tag that they've put on his head. It's like, behave yourself. And don't forget this as well. Like, they got Marcus Rashford in, and they were playing Marcus Rashford up front instead of Ollie Watkins. What does that say? Rashford's crap as well. So why are we bringing in a player that couldn't get a game over a player that we didn't want in the first place at his own club? So I don't think Ollie Watkins is the way forward for Manchester United, I'm afraid. But hey-ho. But apparently, moving on to some more positive news, apparently Jadon Sancho and moving to Juventus has some positive news. Some positive talks have been held most recently. They want to speed this up, apparently, and the only thing that's getting in the way, really, is personal terms. Because, obviously, Jadon Sancho's on a big chunk of wedge at Manchester United, and Juve don't really want to pay that, and I'm not surprised because Sancho hasn't really done anything in the past couple of years to warrant another £300,000 a year contract, or whatever it is. The fee, I'm not sure is much of an issue, but 25 million for Sancho, I think that's fair. He's got 1 year left in his contract with the option of a second year, an extra year. So I think it would be fair for Man United to pay a percentage to Juventus for his wages for the remainder of his year and get 25 million from Juventus, and then for Sancho to maybe get, I don't know, what would Juventus pay? Juventus would maybe pay £200,000 a week, and then if Man United gave an extra £100,000 a week for the next 12 months, then he's at least getting his 300k a year for the first year, say, and then he gets £200,000 a year for the next couple of years or 3 years with Juventus. I think that's a fair trade because he ain't getting that money, £300,000 a week, anywhere else at this moment, unless he goes to Juventus and he smashes it for that next year, right? Which he's probably not going to do because he's rubbish and he doesn't have the work ethic. He's got talent, but he doesn't have the work ethic. But that's how it stands at the moment. Fee and personal terms seem to be a little bit of a stumbling block, but the talks have been positive.